Good evening, my friends. Hope you're doing well, possibly good morning, depending on what time you're watching this video. Um, Earlier today, I was watching a couple of YouTube videos about artists whose work I really respect and whose work I've really enjoyed for a long time. And the videos were focused on sort of their influences, the people, their predecessors who came before them or who they had a chance to work with in their formative days. And how that shaped who they are now. Didn't resolve all the challenges they faced, but at the same time, gave them ideas of how to approach the things they were most passionate about. And it got me thinking, particularly one of the videos, got me thinking about the influences I've had in my life. One of the videos was about Billy Crystal and was talking about some of the comedy influences he had that helped him form his voice, find his expression. And so we talked a lot about the classic comedians of the 1950s as he grew up in that era in New York, or at least in that environment. I can't remember if he's specifically from New York. Interestingly, his influences and my influences are very similar. I didn't go into storytelling. I didn't go into writing as a child because I didn't see a path, strangely enough. I didn't see a path where that was something you did. So I went into the sciences. Eventually, I got into storytelling and science writing because I'm a storyteller. It's just what I do, and I wasn't really particularly good at doing the science. After a health scare several years ago that turned out to be fine, it was nothing, just a weirdness. My then wife sat me down one night and said, okay, we need you to get a hobby. We need you to do something that isn't work, that isn't driving towards goals and what have you, just something for you. If all the rules didn't exist, if all the reality didn't exist, what would you be doing right now? And I thought about it for a minute. It didn't take long. I said, I wish I had been born a decade or two earlier so that I could have written comedy for the early days of television. I could have written comedy for actors like Carl Reiner, Sid Caesar, Imogene Coca, and Howie Morris. Giants of comedy from the 1950s and 60s, back in the days with your Show of Show and Caesar's Hour and that type of thing. These were the people, some of the people that formed all comedy that followed on television. And it greatly influenced a lot of comedy and film. Larry Gelbart from MASH, Mel Brooks, they were writers. I feel terrible. I'm forgetting a lot of the other writers, very famous people who were writers on that show. And I would have given anything. These people were gods to me. In later generations, it would be things like the Carol Burnett Show or the Smothers Brother Hour or even Laugh It. She said, well, that's not possible. Obviously, we don't have a time machine. So what can you do in the interim? That conversation led me to get into improv classes back here in Toronto at Second City. It led me to taking sketch comedy writing, puppetry comedy, musical improv, all sorts of things that led me into from sketch writing into screenwriting and really allowed me to form my voice. To the point where I'm doing these videos now. I have the audacity to be writing a book about creativity. I feel I have something to say, and I feel I have things to back me up on them that might be helpful to the people watching these videos, the people that will ultimately read my book, the people that follow me on social media, and hear what I have to say about storytelling or about passion or about creativity like I've been doing with you guys. Who are the people that you would like to emulate? The people who either helped you find your voice, if you're feeling confident you've found it yet, or might represent inspiration for another way of thinking about what you could be doing right now, how you could get into the things that inspire you, the things that make you feel passionate, the things that trigger that creative spark that's in you. Who were those giants for you? Mine were the comedy giants, even though I don't write a lot of comedy, um, because there was a magic in what they did. There was an incredible, um, they had such skill at being able to craft these very human characters, silly as they might be, joking as they might be, rapid fire da 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 of one-liners and puns and what have you, but all imbued with the humanity. And that was magical to me. My storytelling is about trying to find that in every character I create. I just finished creating a short story. I was taking a flight back home from the West Coast, and I saw a young girl in the row in front of me, put her hand on the window and of the plane. And because the light was coming in a certain way, her fingers almost had like a halo around them. And so I wrote a story about that. I wrote about that experience. It didn't have a long narrative flow. It didn't necessarily go anywhere. It's pretty short, but it was about trying to capture that moment in words, right? Much like a painter might try to capture that in acrylics or watercolor or something like that. Much like a composer might try to take that emotion of that moment and translate it into musical notes and suites and what have you. Much as someone might be using macaroni and doing macaroni art, whatever. Doesn't really matter what the medium is. All because these people in my past showed me ways to do things that enthralled me, that tapped into something that was deep inside and just barely nascent, practically fetal. God knows I'm not old enough to have seen those shows when they first aired. It was snippets here and there, and this was back before the internet. So snippets were things that showed up on television, pretty much no other way. So, all this to say, this weekend, next week, in the coming weeks, coming months, think about the things you've seen, the things you've experienced, where you've just been captured by it, where it sings to you in a way that it doesn't sing to maybe anyone else that you know of, that captures your heart, that captures your soul, that captures that creative thing within you, that artist, that craftsperson, that tinkerer, that whatever your thing is that you just love to do. And really reflect on that and think about the gifts these people have unknowingly given you, and how you can honor those gifts by experimenting, by trying, by going out and finding new people that might do that. God knows, the Toronto Fringe Festival is coming up in about 4 weeks. I'm going to be seeing all sorts of plays and all sorts of comedy shows by people I know, people I am honored to call friends. So I can support them, I can be there, and I can receive the gifts that are pouring aplenty from these creative people. I'm going to see other comedy shows. I'm going to go talk to other people. I'm going to share stories online with friends and family. I'm going to hang out with other people just to be inspired. I'm going to walk in my neighborhood and be inspired by what's around me. I could not have predicted that little girl would have put her hand on the window and the light would have struck it in just that way. And I am joyful and grateful that I was able to see that moment and find that moment and seize it in my notepad, the thing that I always carry around with me. What's that thing for you? Who were your influences? Give it some thought. Leave a comment down below. Let me know who your influences were. Who were the people that sang to you in a way that nobody else around you seemed to get? who make you want to do other things, who make you want to do whatever it is that jazzes you, whatever it is that excites you. Again, tap into that. Try it, experiment, play. Just play. It doesn't have to be taken seriously. It doesn't have to be done well. It's just play. Tap into that child that you used to be. Tap into that child that you still are, even if you don't necessarily let it out very often. This is my homework to you, my friends. You don't have to do it, but this is my homework to you. Figure out who those people are. Leave a comment, share what it is, the thing that you like to do, the thing you wish you would have, how your life might have been different. From there, we can find out how to make it so. God knows I have. No time machine yet, so I'm still not writing for Sid Caesar and Imogene Coca and Carl Reiner and Howie Morris. But I'm writing for this generation's Sid Caesar, Imogene Coca, Carl Reiner, and Howie Morris. And if you get a chance, look up those people. I'll try to leave their names in the caption. It's worth finding. It's worth exploring. They're amazing sketches on YouTube. So take care. Sending you creative energy. Get out there and do your thing. Even if I never see you do it, knowing that you're doing it is going to inspire me to do more. Take care. Be well.